So what makes and keeps company exciting for employees and investors? Can you name just one thing that'll get you excited to be a part of a team and stay there? It's innovation. Look at Tesla. If Tesla today says that they do not have FSD and they are not going to come out with any new vehicles, what do you think will happen to Tesla and Tesla stock? The company will die and investors will leave. Now, the company we are discussing today has become one of my favorite companies lately. Not only they're doing amazing stuff with their years-old business, but they're innovating and leading in the way of robotics and AI, which is super exciting for me personally. So we are talking about Nvidia, and if you have seen my previous videos, then you know I'm really bullish about this company. So Nvidia is set to release earnings on Wednesday after market close. I would say this is the most trickiest earnings play that I have covered recently. Their one side of business is going to do great, amazing, but not sure how their other side will react to supply chain issues. So in this video, I'll break down my expectation of earnings and also what I plan on doing with my Nvidia holdings. Now, even if the company does not excite you, then I would still recommend watching this video because this relates to many tech companies and also the psychology behind these tech companies. And as a reminder, don't forget to click the like button and consider subscribing. And if you would like to learn more, then join our Patreon. We have some amazing folks in the Discord that talk stock, investing, and options. So let's start with 2021. So 2021 has been really great for Nvidia. This year alone, Nvidia has been up 128% right here. This is insane by all means. This is not a meme stock. This is not Shiba Inu. This is not Dogecoin. This is a solid company with hardware. So what is going on with Nvidia that they are growing like this at this rate? Really, really crazy. It's the innovation that is keeping them in front and center. I mean, Tesla's infotainment system is powered with Nvidia chips, and they are in Lucid, in Google data centers, everywhere else. Let me share the latest news section from their website just so that I can share with everyone that this company is so aggressive in growth and innovation that it's looking really appealing to buy, hold, and a long-term investment grade stock. Take a look over here. So this is their news section, and you can see we'll go one by one very quickly. Nvidia team builds with Google Quantum AI, a new framework that teaches everything from physics to AI. Nvidia launches 65 new updated accelerated computing libraries. Nvidia and Google help developers build AI faster. A first-class experience for every car. This is great stuff and crazy stuff. Nvidia extends zero trust security into data centers. I mean, you name it, they are covering that field. This is really bullish for a company which was just, or as I know it, was making computer graphics or graphic chips just not too long ago. They are expanding in all the sectors, and autonomous robotics is one of their prime sector, and we are in the infancy of that industry. So now we know that this company is really doing cutting edge stuff with AI, and their latest bite into the data center is really paying them big time. Data center is a big business for Nvidia right now. Now let's take a look at why this is going to be an interesting and very hard quarters to judge. Take a look over here. This was their revenue in Q3 of 2021. And by the way, Nvidia runs on a different yearly, or I would say a different date structure. So over here, when you see Q3 2022, they mean Q3 2021 because their financial year is different. So when it says a fiscal year Q3 2021 result, revenue was 4.73 billion. In the guidance, or this year's guidance, or this quarter's guidance is 6.80 billion. Wall Street is expecting 6.82. In my opinion, they are going to give a beat to this revenue right here because of their data center business, and I will tell you in just a second. Wall Street projected growth is 44%. Amazing growth for an old company. Now, adjusted earnings per share, 0.73, and now this year their guidance is 1.10. Wall Street is expecting 1.11, 52% growth. Again, amazing. Now take a look at this. Their gaming sector in Q2 of 2022, their revenue was 3.6 billion. Year over year change, 85%. Data center, 35%, and data center is a new business for them. So 2.37 billion from the data center in Q2, and year over year change is 35%, change quarter over quarter 16%. Then professional visualization 519 million, and this was more of a pandemic driven kind of a sale. So I'm not sure what they're going to give out the numbers for this, but it'll be really interesting because this was up 156% year over year because of the pandemic. Automotive, 152 million, 37%, and I feel we are going to see this go up because of all the Lucid and all the other cars using their chips. OEM and IP, 409 million, 180% growth year over year and 25% quarter over quarter. One of the biggest sectors for them is right here is data center. This is really money making, and right now they're spending a lot of money to kind of set up the infrastructure. So with beat on all the sectors, and also their data center business is looking solid in terms of growth, what are analysts saying about Nvidia? Take a look here. Some of the price targets I'm going to show you. So there are about 55 analysts covering Nvidia, which is amazing in terms of analysts covering Nvidia. Most of the price target, if you look from November, see this is all November, in last like I would say 15 days, you can see most of the numbers are 400, 360, 300, 365, 400. Like they're all in between, I would say 300 to 400 range. There are some, of course, 220 right here, which says outperform, but still has 220, and then 230, and then 220 right here, and about 260 over here. So there are some 200s, but majority that you will see will be between, I would say, 300 to 400 range, which is again really super exciting for where Nvidia is sitting right now. So now the consensus for the next 12 months is about $277, but that number was taken into consideration with all the analysts combined, and some of them came out in April. They haven't really updated their guidance since April. So that is old and has a lot changed since April to where we are right now. So when I'm looking at their latest numbers, I'm seeing, of course, more 350s and 400s in the chart. Okay, so now let me share what I have open and what I plan on doing with them. So as you can see over here, this is my Nvidia holding, and I just want to make sure you can see. Yes. Okay, so I bought about 100 shares of Nvidia, very small position that I opened, I would say a few months ago, and I bought it at $197.55. That is the time when I started to read more and more about the company. To be honest, Nvidia for me was a graphics card company, and most of my stuff is Mac, so I don't really pay attention to what kind of graphic this has and what computer has. I used to use Windows a lot before, so I was kind of aware of what Nvidia is and what kind of graphic cards they used to have, but I'm out of touch. But when I started reading about their data centers, about their AI, about their robotics, that's where I got really excited and interested in the company. So I bought about 100 shares, just wanted to see how it goes. After that, the share hasn't cooled down. I wanted to buy more, but it just looks like it's running at a speed that I can't catch it. So right now, my I would say the 100 shares that I have is up by 51%. Then I bought this one. This is the one, the calls that I bought at that time when I bought these shares. I bought these 4 calls for January 2020, $375. Look at this here. I bought at $24. Right now, these calls are $134. I'm up 442% on these calls. This is amazing gain on a stock like Nvidia, because I know that stock is not coming down to $175. So with these stocks over here, I plan on basically buying these shares, 400 shares at $175 each as we get closer to 2023. But of course, there's a caveat there, which I'm going to share in just a second. Now, this is the play that I was really confused about. So this is expiring on these are 2 calls for January 2022, $200. Right now, the stock is at $298 when I'm recording this video. I'm up almost 519% on these calls. I bought it at 16. Right now, they're at 100. So this was the call that was really hard for me to basically decide on what to do with this call. So what I did was I sold one call. So I basically sold one call while I kept the other one on. So I still have this one call when you're watching this video. I have one call that is remaining, which I'm going to write through the earnings. Even though I'm kind of double-minded, and I'll explain you in just a second why, but it was worth for me because I bought it at $16 or $1,600 for each call, and I just got $10,000 for it. So I'm okay selling one call and writing one call to see what happens. Worst come to worst, I'll buy 100 shares of Nvidia at $200 in January. But right now, I'm planning on writing that one call through the earnings to see what's going to happen. Of course, I'm going to hold the share. Of course, I'm going to hold these 4 calls, and I'm holding one of these calls for $200, and I sold one, making about 500% on that one call. So the reason why this is a hard one to crack is this. I think Nvidia's data center segment will do amazing and will post record growth, while supply constraint more than the demand may slightly eat its gaming and automotive unit revenue, even though they will be better, but I don't think they will be at par with the expectation. And of course, that'll be a problem. Another point is that Nvidia is growing like crazy crazy. With their IT infrastructure, that means higher spending for higher end GPUs, for neural nets and deep learning. And that is my divide. Plus the ARM deal, which is, of course, will be amazing for Nvidia, is still pending, and any negative news will have an impact on the stock. So I've given you my plan, but I plan on holding my shares and my January 2023 calls or $175 calls forever. Well, not really. If the stock goes up to 400 in April, I'll be out, but if it remains in lower 300s, I will exercise them and basically get 400 more shares. So for the one call that is left for January 2022, most likely I will sell that call if the stock goes up after the earnings. But if it drops, then I will exercise and get 100 more shares at $216. Remember, I have to pay for the shares, which is of course $200 was my strike price, plus the $1,600 that I've already paid. So my cost would be $216, which won't be that bad. I mean, I don't know where the stock is going to be after the earnings, but even if it's 220, whatever, still close. Comment and let me know what are your thoughts about Nvidia and what do you plan on doing with it. And if you enjoy videos like this, then give it a thumbs up so we can reach out to more investors. For long conversation and getting more involved, join our Patreon and Discord. Link is in the description below. Also, as an early note, I'll be traveling with my family for the week of Thanksgiving. We won't have too many videos. We'll record a few, but will not be any breaking news type of videos. I will be active on Discord, limited activity of course, as I will be in a different time zone, going to Dubai and taking everyone. So boys are super excited. Their first ever international trip since COVID started. Actually, I'm excited as well. As always, an absolute pleasure to share all of this with you. Until next time, you all have a sparkling day.